We're here live at Nongdui Besiko Asutan with the great and vibrant young people.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Ubong Kings, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. First off, let's take a look at the headlines. OSINBAJO assures Buhari will fix insecurity. People living with disabilities call on government to execute laws to protect them. US tightens travel rules amid OMICRON cases. Details of the stories and more in a moment. We begin the news this afternoon with a report that Vice President Yemi OSINBAJO says President Muhammadu Buhari is doing his best to fix the insecurity of Nigeria. The Vice President, who spoke at the presidential villa when he received the Muhammadu Buhari OSINBAJO Dynamic Support Group, assured that security challenges will be resolved for a stronger and greater Nigeria. He therefore appealed to citizens to ensure that the ideals of the nation are kept, as the unity of Nigeria is important for all ethnicities and religions. In the meantime, the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, has said the federal government was currently pushing for a law on a mandatory health insurance scheme in Nigeria as part of reforms, as well as to revolutionize funding in the sector. Ehanire, who stated this in his address at a special session of the National Council on Health meeting held in Abuja, said the government was implementing an innovative digital health technology reform and building a network of national primary health care centers across the country to take healthcare delivery to the grassroots. According to him, models of the new Primary Health Center PHCS designs had been sent to all state governors, adding that each PHC would have staff quarters, assured water supply, solar power aggregates, and a sound complement of human resource for health with regard to the advent of the new COVID-19 variant, OMICRON. Ehanire said the country must have to strengthen its health security architecture to ensure that it was prepared at all times to detect and respond in the interest of the health of the populace. And now to the Green Chambers, where the Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila has reiterated the determination of the House of Representatives to support the development of education in Nigeria. Receiving the Sarkin Kudu of Birin Kudu, Jigawa State, Garba Jibrin in his office, Gbajabiamila said education ranked topmost on the legislative agenda of the 9th House of Representatives because it had remained the foundation of development of any society. He said the lawmakers believed in education as the foundation of civilization and development, informing their decision to work hard to get tertiary institutions to their locality. And still on legislative matters, the House of Representatives has ordered immediate investigation into debts totaling 2.6 trillion naira allegedly owed the federal government by oil and gas companies operating in the country. A report by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NATI) contains the figure, which is said to be accruals from failure of the firms to remit petroleum profit tax, company income tax, education tax, value-added tax, withholding tax, royalties, penalties, and concession on rentals to the federal government. The House, which was presided over by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, raised an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter after the lawmaker representing Lere Federal Constituency of Kaduna State, Ahmed Munir, brought it up through a motion on notice. And in the meantime, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says to triumph over the challenges facing Nigeria, citizens should overcome their differences in politics, religion, tribe, and ethnicity. Gbajabiamila was speaking at the two-day National Conference on Information organized by the House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values, chaired by Representative Odebumi Dokun. He observed that as technology and new media The Speaker identified information management as one of the ways to overcome Nigeria's security challenges. And in another development, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has expressed optimism about the inherent gains in the Nigeria-South Korea Parliamentary Friendship Group. Gbajabiamila stated this while receiving the South Korean ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Kim Yong-chae, who led the Korean delegation on a courtesy visit to his office in Abuja. On financial crimes, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) yesterday rearraigned former governor of Ekiti State Ayodele Fayose and his company before a federal high court in Lagos. Fayose and his company were rearraigned before Justice Chukwujeko Aneke for alleged money laundering and non-declaration of assets. In the amended charge, Fayose and one Abiodun Agbele, who is also standing trial on alleged money laundering offenses before another division of the court, were alleged to have, on June 17, 2014, taken possession of 1.219 billion naira to fund Fayose's 2014 gubernatorial campaign in Ekiti State. They were accused of committing criminal breach of trust, theft, and stealing of public funds. They were also alleged to have, on the same June 17, 2014, without going through financial institutions, received $5 million from Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, who was the Minister of State for Defense. And away from that, as Nigeria joins the rest of the world today to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, the about 31 million community of persons living with disabilities in the country have called on government at all levels to quit playing lip service to their plight and match words with actions by implementing the various domestic laws and international conventions to protect them. In a statement to mark the day, the Executive Director, Center for Citizens with Disabilities, David Anyaele, observed that this year's event is the third commemoration of the day since the passage and assent by President Muhammadu Buhari of the Disability Rights Act that is designed to protect the more than 31 million citizens with disabilities. He expressed worry that 36 months after the passage of the Disability Rights Act, only 13 states have demonstrated measures to adopt the act. Anyale therefore called on the state government yet to adopt the National Disability Rights Act to do so without further delay, stressing that failure to adopt the act will be an indirect endorsement of discrimination and other harmful practices against citizens with disabilities. The CCD boss further urged the President to assent to the Electoral Act as it contains new provisions to address the disenfranchisement of persons living with disability in the conduct of elections. And in a separate development, Imo State Police says 35-year-old Pastor Izichukwu Anoloba has been arrested for kidnapping Father Fidelis Ekemba, a Catholic priest in Imo State. The pastor, while confessing to the crime, said he got 1.5 million naira as a share from the kidnap. According to reports, the State Commissioner of Police, Rabiu Hussein, while parading the suspect, disclosed that the victim was in his captivity until a 5 million naira ransom was paid. Describing himself as a disgrace to the body of Christ, Anoloba begged for forgiveness. The police said the victim is the priest in charge of St. Peter's Catholic Parish in Umunonu, Amakohia in Hite Ubomo local government area of the state. And in Ebonyi State, the Effium indigents of Ezekuna have petitioned President Muhammadu Buhari protesting the invasion of their community by uniformed men suspected to be security operatives. In their petition signed by their solicitor Samson Ekigbo in Abuja, the community expressed disappointment that overzealous operatives deployed to maintain peace in the troubled community have been terrorizing the people. They alleged that so far, 43 houses have been burned by the men in security uniforms. This, they claim, was in violation of the rules of engagement. And back here, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has passed a 2022 appropriation bill into law. Recall that Governor Udom Emmanuel had on October 25, 2021 proposed a total budget outlay of 582.115 billion naira for the 2022 financial year before the 7th Assembly. The bill was referred to the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation for further legislative actions. Presenting the committee's report at plenary, the chairman of the committee, Udwak Odudo, urged the House to pass a total revised budget outlay of 583.881 billion naira, made up of 261.963 billion naira for recurrent expenditure and 324.918 billion naira for capital expenditure, amounting to an increase of 4.766 billion naira of the initial budget size. The House, after dissolving into the Committee of Supply, considered the recommendations of the Appropriations Committee and approved an increase in the recurrent expenditure by 1.813 billion naira, an increase in the capital expenditure by 2.954 billion naira, and an overall increase in the 2022 budget estimates by 4.766 billion naira. And in Africa, Sudan's military leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has called on the United Nations to support the transitional government. General Burhan, who spoke when he met the UN Special Representative to the country, Volker Perthes, said that despite welcoming the deal for a return to constitutional order, other critical steps need to follow, adding that he will cooperate with reinstated civilian Prime Minister Abdal Hamdok and support the transitional government he forms until elections are held. And on the foreign scene, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has warned that Europe could be returning to what he called the nightmare of military confrontation. Speaking at a European Security Conference in Sweden, Lavrov floated the idea of a new European Security Pact to try to stop NATO from expanding further east. This comes as U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken warned of serious consequences if Russia sought conflict with Ukraine. The meeting comes as Russia boosts its military near Ukraine's border. And still on the foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden has unveiled stricter COVID-19 travel rules as the U.S. confirmed a handful of cases of the Omicron variant from coast to coast. From next week, international travelers to the U.S., including Americans, are expected to get a COVID test in the 24 hours before they depart, regardless of vaccination status. The rules also noted that mask requirements on planes, trains, and buses will be extended until mid-March. Millions of free and insurer-funded homes millions of free and insurer-funded home tests will be also made available. And still to come on the news, CARRICK leaves Man U as caretaker spell ends. Please stay with us. Great to have you back on the news with us. Now to the rest of our stories. On our business news, OPEC is set to increase output in January despite Omicron jitters. OPEC, an alliance led by Saudi Arabia in Russia, is resisting US-led pressure to significantly boost output to rein in surging energy prices. Reports say major oil producers have decided to keep raising output levels in January, despite the Omicron coronavirus variant raising fresh questions over demand. And still in business, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) is calling on advanced economies in the G20 to extend and improve its debt relief initiative. The IMF chief, Kristalina Georgieva, warned in a blog that many countries faced crisis without help. According to Georgieva, if G20 creditors do not agree to accelerate debt restructurings and suspend debt service while the restructurings are being negotiated, economic collapse may be witnessed in some countries. She also asks for creditors to offer relief. And in health, 47 more persons have contracted COVID-19 in Nigeria in the last 24 hours, pushing the country's total cases to 214,317. 16 of the new cases are confirmed in Plateau, 8 each in the FCT and Rivers, 4 in Gombe and Kaduna, 3 each in Edo and Kano, as well as 1 in Bauchi. So far, 207,357 persons have been discharged, while 2,978 have died from the virus. And in sports, Michael Carrick has stepped down as Manchester United first-team coach and will leave the club following the conclusion of his spell as caretaker manager. The 49-year-old's decision to walk away ahead of interim boss Ralph Rangnick's arrival was announced minutes after he took charge of last night's 3-2 Premier League victory over Arsenal at Old Trafford. Carrick, who played 464 games for United between 2006 and 2018 and won 5 Premier League titles, the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Club World Cup, served on the staff under both Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. On our entertainment news, pop stars Ed Sheeran and Sir Elton John have unveiled the song they hope will give them a Christmas #1 this year. The bittersweet track titled Merry Christmas celebrates the season while remembering the ones who have gone in a painful year. Complete with sleigh bells, ding-dongs, and celestial choirs, it is one of 3 songs the stars wrote after Sir Elton John pitched the idea last Christmas. However, the duo are reportedly faced with stiff competition in the charts from Adele and Lad Baby. And there's the size of our package for you at this time. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTV.ng. You have been watching the news, Spectrum News at 12. My name is Ubong Kings. Have a wonderful afternoon.